we're bringing you all you need to succeed in the real estate business. It's Spilling the LT, brought to you by Lawyers Title, telling you what it's really like to work in real estate.
Welcome back to another episode of Spilling the LT. I'm your host, Tamera Gaede, Director of Collin County Sales for Lawyers Title. I'm very excited to have another guest on the podcast with me today. I have Bob Johnson, aka Bob Mortgage. He has been in the business for about 25 years. It is a family business with him and his wife, Jennifer Johnson. And I wanted Bob to come in and talk to us today about, well, we're talking about goals, and we're talking about time, and we're talking about how we're going to tee up next year, right? So, Bob, thanks for joining me today.
I appreciate it. I love the little music intro.
Right.
I was having a little bit of fun with it, so it was good.
Well, and before we get started, you have a podcast too.
I do. Yeah, we run podcasts. I mean, we do everything. We try to do everything, right? Social media, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I got a TikTok channel.
You are on TikTok now.
I'm on TikTok.
Okay.
I found out I need to be a little better on that as far as what my audience is telling me, but we do have an audience, which is a good start, right?
Okay.
They're mostly my kids' friends,
Sure.
but it's working.
There's a lot of feedback there,
Yep.
I'm sure.
And we do a podcast, 100% Bob.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of fun there. Not always mortgage, but we talk, business planning. We talk about business. We talk about motivation. We talk about sports. A lot of different things that are still true to the things that I went through growing up that I can actually comment on. And yeah, we do that. It's fun.
I'm gonna have to go. Okay, so I'm a TikTok stalker.
Okay.
I'm not on I'm on TikTok, but I don't do TikTok.
Okay.
And so but I'm a huge fan of TikTok.
All right.
And so I will go and seek you out and
seek me out and let me know what you think. I'm not rolling the dancing yet. I got the groove in it. I like it, but we're not doing some dancing that's going to parlay into some multi-million dollar or multi-million views type thing, right? I'm not there yet.
Well, I'm seeing more and more real estate professionals get on TikTok.
Yeah.
Kyle Draper. It took him a minute, but now he's on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot more realtors on TikTok, and the content could use a little assistance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is just understanding your audience.
Yeah.
And then what your message is going to be to whom, right? Who you're playing to, and then you can have fun with it. I mean, I think for us, it was meant to really have fun with that channel.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where it goes if we get any leakage from TikTok into other social platforms that really kind of make it a little bit more sticky for us long term. Like you said, I've been in it 25 years, so hopefully we got another 25 in this. And we'll see what happens with the audience and stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, we're always pivoting. Every day's a pivot, but yeah.
So have you seen Glenna? I think it's Glenna Baker on TikTok.
No.
She's a realtor out of Atlanta, Georgia. Inman featured her in an article not too long ago about how much GCI she had been able to close off of her TikTok feed, right? And she's hilarious. First of all, she's very professional, straightforward. You can tell she's a straight shooter. She talks about the market, right, and guides buyers and sellers on what to do. But she's also funny when she does it, and she says one cuss word, the S word.
Oh, really?
That's the only cuss word I've ever heard her say, but it's one of those things where she throws it out at the right time, and it makes it funny, right? You don't get offended, you think it's funny. And so I'm a huge fan of hers, and I know she has a lot of followers on TikTok and has gotten a lot of attention, but I think as far as the real estate community, she's by far the one that knocks it out of the park for me.
We'll have to go check her out.
You need to go check her out.
Yeah, we definitely will. Speaking of cuss words, is this a cuss word friendly environment or non, just so I know?
I won't be cussing today, but you are more than welcome to be off.
Not that I do it. Like, sometimes it may slip out, but you never know.
Sure. And Kyle came on the show last week for me, and I think he said crap. So.
Whoa, Kyle, slow down, buddy. That's big. That's a big one.
So, whatever makes you feel good, Bob.
I'm just gonna roll. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and so you, and I know this is kind of not what we talked about, but we're gonna probably go down a few veins of conversation today. What you guys can't see in the background is that he has a videographer on staff, a very, very talented Brandon. Pownell. Okay, I knew how to spell it.
We just call him Brandon.
Okay, yeah. Let's call him Brandon. Video Brandon. So he follows Bob, with him around to all of the events and things that Bob does, and pretty much records Bob's life.
Well, it does a lot more than that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think capturing the content is the most important thing, because before I mean, I've always been on video and always done media and stuff like that, but it was really more about creating stuff and trying to write the script and trying to be perfect with what I was going to say, how I was going to say it, and wanting a certain outcome from my audience. And I realized by watching people like Gary Vee and kind of exposing myself to that world of content creators, that I actually live in it every day. And the best way to get the message out, the best way to impact more people positively, is to just record what I'm saying, because I'm on conversations every day. We're doing podcasts, we're doing video sessions, we're doing so many things every single day, and there's some really great things that we all get to talk about that if we weren't recording it, people may not hear it. They may not see it, and that then doesn't positively change or impact their life. And so that's what we did. And so Brandon was somebody that was coming out of school, and I reached out to him. He reached out to me. I think it was a resume type deal, and our personalities fit, and his vision is big, just like mine, and it's parlayed into a media company, BX Media, and there's a lot of things that we're doing with that company that's bigger than it's a spinoff of what we're doing with the Bob Mortgage brand as it is.
Right.
So yeah, he is.
No, I'm a super fan.
Yeah, definitely handles the camera very well. Editor is superb, and then just really getting into the business side of it.
So kind of going back to, I kind of want to ask you a question. So I called you yesterday to ask you what you wanted to talk about today. Now, I know, and I got your voicemail, and it was like, don't leave a message, don't even bother leaving a message. And so
text me.
I texted you. I don't know if it made any sense because it was voice text and I was driving down the tollway and I couldn't even proofread it before I sent it. But it was really, I wanted to talk to you about what we wanted to talk about today, because I'm a planner, right? But every time I call you to talk about what we're going to talk about, we wish we had recorded what we talked about talking about.
Yep. So
I'm wondering, is that why you didn't call me back yesterday?
I just texted. I mean, and for stuff like this, I actually like not having scripts. Yeah. I like just a free form, free flow conversation, because I think that's where we can probably get more out of each other. Sure. I mean, we definitely want to have some kind of base, but just let it flow and let's see where the conversation goes.
And I'm very much a planner person, so I like a little bit of a base. Yeah. Because you texted me this morning, we were joking about this before we started recording, that you wanted to talk about the meta environment. I'm like, was my response back on your text.
I knew it was going to be that.
I called to Kyle Draper and was like, can you help me out here a little bit?
Yeah, Kyle, hopefully you didn't give her a bunch of questions, because I really was just playing with her.
But you're right. I mean, and that's one thing that kind of everybody needs to keep in mind, right? Because one of the things that we talk to our clients about, talk to our realtors about, is that you need to be on video and you need to be doing these things to get more face time and have a bigger reach with your clients on social media, and that your clients want to see you, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can flub and you can have a mistake, and it makes you human. I had Kyle coached one of my clients about doing video, and she did, I think, 5 videos. She got 2 listings out of it and never did another one. I mean, like, why
would you not?
What happened?
Right. Yeah.
This is you had a success moment with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard for a lot of people to just kind of get over this hump about it's okay to be real, and your people want you to be real, right?
They definitely do. They're the ones that you're going to be doing business with a real person anyway. Yeah. So instead of trying to be somebody you're not, just be yourself, and you're going to attract more of those types of people that already like you, for who you are, right? And so when you can show up and be the same person instead of having to be the person that you think you are on camera. So once you can bridge that and have a really deep understanding of, okay, I don't have to be this person. I could be who I am, and allow it to come across. And those people, they're gonna like me even more for that. But the other thing on the video stuff, because I do a lot of video, we talk a lot about social media and video and stuff like that. I've had to change kind of the way I've worded it with agents and just people in general when we talk about doing business with them. It's not so much about being on video. It's about being comfortable finding your voice, right? Because some people just don't they don't want to be on video, and they lock down, and that's okay. But doing a podcast because they have an amazing voice and something to say is equally as good as trying to be on camera and being 50%. Right, you might as well go 100% on podcasts and don't have a camera in front of you, and your voice can come out, and people are like, "Wow, I love that person. I love what they're saying." But if you put them in a camera, they lock, right?
Yeah.
Or some people are writers. Well, you know what? Blogs are great. People still get into blogs. I mean, they still really read emails. They still do all those types of things. So it's finding the voice that you're comfortable with and then go all in on that. And then if you're into podcasts, then all of a sudden, maybe when you're not thinking about it, have somebody throw up a camera, and then all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm not that bad on camera, right? And so you're not thinking about that lens in front of you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I would go with it.
Well, and I think, we talk to an environment that doesn't do a lot of public speaking naturally, right? Realtor's going to go do their listing presentation. They may have 2 to 4 people in front of them at a time.
Right.
And so those bigger environments are just not something that is accessible to them or part of their day-to-day business. And so I understand why it's a lot harder to envision yourself being on these big, endless platforms, right?
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. The first time I ever did a sales presentation when I came into real estate, I thought I was going to pee my pants. I was so nervous. I was so scared. And I was like, I told my general manager, please don't leave me up there by myself in case I don't know what to say. But, 12 years later and hundreds of thousands of all the podcasts and the radio shows and the presentations, I mean, none of this ever phases me, right? Anymore.
And now you're so good. What's the one thing we've talked about? If you don't know what to say, what do?
Pivot it back to you.
Yeah, Tamera, that's a great question. What would you say to that?
Right. I don't know, Bob. What would you say? I'm a quick learner.
You are. You've done very well. I've been put in those positions where all I want to talk about are the things that I really know. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't want to go off on these tangents because then you do. I think you lose credibility. I know my voice. I know what I'm very strong at, and I want to stay within those realms. And I have opinions of things, and I'll happily share it. But I'm not going to act like I'm an expert at things like the meta environment or meta universe. I read about it. I learn a little bit about it, but that's not a topic that I could go deep on because I'm not the expert at it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-huh.
Give our listeners that want to get started with something social media, not just a regular post, because we all know how to do those, but whether it be a podcast, a blog, or whatever, a video, even a simple video. Give them 3 tips, 4 tips. So I don't know, what can you come up with to just get them started?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're talking about, like, let's say a real estate agent, okay, the first and easiest thing is to record or go live with your listing, like you're walking through and doing a listing, basically a listing showing, right, on your live. Agents do that all the time. They're comfortable talking about the house. Mm-hmm. They're comfortable talking about the amenities in the home. They're comfortable talking about the community and where the home's located and all the benefits of that. That's not putting yourself out there too far where you're not going to be comfortable, with a particular topic. This is what they do for a living every single day. And even if they're not on camera, right? Even if they're not on camera, they can be filming it and talking about it, right? And that I think is one very good thing that they can do to get comfortable.
Now, the one thing that I did see one time, I had a realtor, and I liked her open house video the best of all the ones I'd ever seen, because to me, most of them, they're just walking through the house, and it's not really all that exciting. But she picked out 3 features of the house that made it stand out. Yeah. And that's all she did the video on. If you want to see more, got to call me, right?
100%. I think that's a great comment. You be very specific, right? These are the pros and the cons. I'm going to give you 3 benefits and 3 cons, right? That's going to keep somebody on the hook. I want to watch the 3 benefits and the 3 cons. But something that I talk a lot about is be brief, be bright, be gone.
Be brief, be bright, be gone.
Right.
I like it.
Bring it. Be brief, because nobody wants to watch a 45-minute video or a 30-minute video on a house, right? Just like you said, give them the 3 benefits and the 3 cons, and then if you want to have a long-form version of that video out there that they want to go watch, fine. But what you're trying to do is drive conversation, and you want them to call you so you can kind of go over it in detail. So be brief, be bright, be gone.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I start to watch a video and you probably got 20 to 30 seconds to get me or I'm gone.
No, 100%.
It's just the reality of it, you know?
The other thing I would say is commit to consistency over content.
I love that.
Okay. The content, when I started out a long time ago doing video, I thought you were watching my 20-minute video and you were hanging on to every word because it was so important to me, and I had a teleprompter and I was scripted and I was talking about everything, right? Well, I sort of look at the analytics and no, they watched a minute, they watched 3 minutes. Some people watch 15 and full videos, and most people watch 3 seconds.
Right.
Right. And so what I started to understand was it was about the consistency over that message. I want the message to be important, but I can always duplicate that message over and over and over again, right? In our space, and you can put it into images, you can put it into blogs, you can put it into a lot of different things. But keep consistent content in front of them, because it's like any kind of marketing, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
As they're scrolling, they're seeing what? They're seeing the Bob Mortgage, they're seeing BX Media, they're seeing whatever, right?
Right.
And that's what they're remembering.
Well, and the more they engage in your content, the more they're going to see your content, right? So they see your first video, they watch it, they like it. I mean, I think Facebook will start pushing.
Yeah.
I'm not an analytics expert. I'm not a
Meta will start
expert. You know, I see all of your stuff all of the time because we've done so much back and forth. We've tagged each other, watched, liked, commented. So I see all of your social media content that you push out. So, and I always am a big fan.
Well, thank you. I would also say don't be focused on the outcome and ROI on branding. So you have to understand the difference between branding and marketing.
Right.
Right. Marketing is where you're going to actually expect an outcome and you're going to spend $1 to make 5. Right. You're going to have a certain type of ROI that you're expecting from that piece. In a branding scenario, you're really more looking at the reach, the engagement, and over time, because it's a long play, over time, things just start coming to you because you've been consistent, people are seeing it and they know who you are and you're building a presence. But you're not going to be able to put an ROI on that like you can with marketing.
So I've been talking a lot about goal setting and business planning for next year. So if you were going to give your client a goal that was just starting out on social media, how often or how many times do you have a thought about because we just talked about consistency?
Yeah. I would tell them to get with me at BX Media, our media company, and we'll handle it for them, because most of the time, and I'll shameless plug, but I'll tell you why. Much like myself, when I started out, I didn't have the commitment. It was hard, right, to keep doing it, and that's why people start. Maybe that realtor that started got the 2 listings, she started, but then it's too difficult to duplicate it over and over and over again, because they get busy, right, and they forget about it. So you have to have a team of people that's going to be doing it for you, right? I mean, that's just the reality. And plus, when you start paying it, you start feeling more obligated to making things happen. It's like a trainer, right? You want to work out, don't go do it yourself. Trust me, hire a trainer. I have a trainer, we work out 3 times a week, right? And it's not because, I love it, but it's because I don't want that dollar to go unused. Same thing will happen in the media side. But I think the goal should be, I think you have to be looking at 5 times. Five times a week, you need to be putting stuff out there. Whether that's in a live format, it's in a quote, it's in posts about homes or tips, or solution based. One of our best videos is a 1-minute mortgage solution, right? It gives everybody what they want. It tells them it's 1 minute long.
Yep.
It's about mortgages and it's about a solution. So when they see solution, that means there was a proposed challenge, and you get all of that in 1 minute, and it's like, people hang on to those types of things. So if you're going to do a tip like that, make it short.
Well, and I think you kind of, if somebody was looking to make an investment in what they were doing, we also have a company that we use that Kyle Draper calls it content compounding, right?
There you go.
He breaks it apart. They put quotes together with graphics, the little clips here, little things there, and it gets posted all over. And Brandon, we've done videos before, and Brandon's broke apart content for 6 months out of one of our videos, right?
Yeah, so it's that understanding. It's saying, okay, do I have to like do 5 pieces of content to get things out every week? And the reality is no. Like Brandon will take one piece of content that I've done, like one video, And it could be a 20-minute video. He'll splice that up, and we'll have, like you said, 6 months worth of content. It's going to come out in form of macro pieces, which is that 120-minute, and then all these micro 1-minute solution, 1-minute hits. And then we have images. He'll look at something, he'll say, wow, you actually had a great quote. And I'm like, really? I had a great quote? Let's go back and listen to it. I'm like, oh my God. and if we captured it, right? And then he'll put an image together with a quote, and it's authentic because it's mine. And then so you could kind of go on and on with that type of stuff just from sitting down and recording one time. We take our vlogs and we turn them into blogs.
Yep.
So we've just taken the words that I've spoken and we've turned it into a written blog. I didn't write it, I spoke it, but now it's out there on the internet live, right, for somebody to read.
Yeah. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. And I think it's important to understand too, the more you do it, the more you'll feel comfortable with it, right? The easier all of this gets. Everything's practice, right? Practice repetitive, things that you're doing repetitively over and over again. And so that consistency key is really important. Yep. Set yourself a goal of how many of these things you're going to do every month. Stick with your plan, right? Because a lot of what we're talking about right now are your goals and your business planning for next year. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, and you end up finding opportunity where you never found opportunity before because you're used to doing it now. It's not something that you have to really think about.
Right. Make it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a big thing. You don't want to sweat this. It doesn't need to be something that you fear. This needs to be something that you get excited about. It's fun because you're realizing your voice, what you're saying, what you're writing could have a positive impact on somebody else's life. That's when you flip it and you're not worried so much about like the who could be watching on the other side of the camera. You're just trying to impact one person, right? Yep. If only one person's watching and you've positively impacted them, your job was done. You did exactly what you're supposed to do, right? If 10,000 people watch but one person got impacted positively, that's fine. That's all you got to worry about. And then it'll trickle down, and that is that helped me a lot in worrying about what people were thinking or feeling, or just the comments that you get about what you said or didn't say or how you said it. I don't worry about that stuff. It's just, did I positively impact one person?
Well, and I liked you tapping into it needs to be fun, because it doesn't all need to be about your current listing no. or what house you just closed on, right? So you take the family to the Arboretum, shoot a quick video with that beautiful Arboretum background, whatever the holiday is,
right, and
talk about how much fun you and your family are having at the Arboretum. I'm just using them as an example. Grandscape, I'm going to this great concert tonight at Grandscape. If you haven't been out here, I keep hearing all of my realtor friends are going out there and enjoying Grandscape. So, anything fun. I mean, Brandon wanted us to talk about Thanksgiving, Right. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Bob?
I am going to Nashville. Going to Nashville to see my brother.
But since this is going to air after Thanksgiving, we're not going to focus on Thanksgiving. But, it is about doing things that are making it fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, and people ask me a lot about, do you have a business channel and a personal channel? And I just I have one. I have multiple channels, but they all are kind of business and personal. It's hard to keep them separate. If you want to find my family stuff, that's true family stuff, you're not going to find it because it's a private page, right?
Sure.
But I think that we don't have balance in our life. We have harmony. And because the balance is too hard to keep things separate, that means you're able to do this, right, in the pendulum. And I do believe that, like with me, I'm sitting here with you, and I know what I'm thinking about as well, because I have some personal things with my kids that I've got to take care of.
Very exciting
and it's all right there in life. And so I think it's just harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you done your goal setting for next year?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing about goal setting is, for me, it's not a once a year event. The goal, much like a business plan, evolves.
Correct.
And it's something that you have to look at on I think a quarterly basis, and reevaluate where you are, where you're going. Pivot. What changes do you have to make in the plan or the goal itself, so that you can ensure that you've properly set it, and then you have your chance to meet and exceed, that goal or expectation that you set for yourself. So that's definitely every quarter.
So what is one thing that you are going to jumpstart for the first quarter of next year?
Well, I mean,
it might be different from what you've been doing.
I don't think it's really a lot. It's not different. I mean, it's just more present in our life right now. You know, we talk about, goal setting is always about, okay, money, right? I mean, how much more money can you make? Okay, that's part of it. That's our life, right? But then it's about how we're making the money. Diversification is another thing that we talk about a lot in our goals with my wife and I. Like you said, we've been in business 25 years, but we also are coming up on our 25th wedding anniversary.
Man.
Yes, 25 years married, 25 years in business together. Yeah.
She is one patient woman.
She is. Trust me, you'd probably want her here. She's her personality is much better on this than me. But no, I mean, diversification is one thing, but then also, and we talked about this in your mastermind, which, kudos to you to have those type of agents, top tier agents in a mastermind, and I appreciate you letting me be part of that, because these are people that think the same that I do and that you do, and it's not about where we are, it's about the law of the lid, right? We don't have lids right here. We're always trying to raise it, and ceilings and stuff like that. And we talked about buying back time, right? Because time seems to be the most important thing to me and to them. Is how do I get more of my time back? And that's a big one, right? Time allows you to do then more things. It allows you to have a better work-life balance or harmony. It allows you to focus more on your diversifications and be able to level that out so that it has more opportunity to grow. It just gives you more of your quality back of your life, right? What makes you happy, the people around you, you get to spend more time with them. I mean, we run a lot of businesses, and I have 2 daughters, and they're 16 and 17. One's about to go to college, and it's finding my moments to be there and be present, but then also the time will give me when she's at college. How do I get there? How do I spend more time with her? Those are big things. I think time's the biggest one.
Yeah, I had my meeting with my business coach yesterday, where we sat down and talked about this year and talked about next year and talked about all this thing. And it was her first, what she really wanted to talk to me about was time and balance, and how do I allow myself for more personal time, because I'm so focused on my career. And I'm an all or nothing personality, and I'm a bulldog, and once I set my sights on something, I'm not going to let go until I get it, right?
Sure.
And that can work for me and work against. She asked me what my superpower was. And that's my superpower, but it's also my biggest enemy, right?
Okay.
So, trying to get back time, delegating work more, finding ways to delegate things, finding ways to manage your relationships, and then also having time to recharge and refresh. And it's one thing I've never done that I really appreciate the suggestion. It's not something earth-shattering. It's something I already know, but sometimes you just need to be reminded of that. And she's like, write down your bucket list of things you want to do next year that don't involve your career, and get them on your calendar and figure them out, and take that time that you need, because you're no good to anybody when you're just running around exhausted all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so I had a big appreciation for, trying to time block time for myself back into my schedule, and not allowing my career to run my entire life, right? But that's hard for us. Well, extremely driven people,
Yeah, but I think you did it right, though, because the first thing is about self-awareness, right? You called yourself a bulldog, right? And Robert Kiyosaki, he's written a lot of good books, but he wrote a book called Sales Dogs.
Okay.
And this is why I brought it back to that. And the pit bull, or the bulldog would be the pit bull in the book. And it's just understanding the different personalities one has, or traits that you have. Whether you're a Chihuahua that's data and analytical driven, or you're a golden retriever that's service driven. And so you understand the dogs. That's what most people relate. They understand dogs, right? Behaviors. But it's self-awareness and understanding who you are, and then it's about how to delegate out to the other types of dogs, personality traits, that can then take the things that are weighing you down the most and get them over here. And then, as you know, one of your top agents and top mastermind partners we were talking about it in the deal. You typically find it's not one person that could take what you're doing and do it themselves. You tend to have 2 to 3 people that you're going to need to hire for that one trait that you're moving off of your plate.
Yeah.
Because you do it at a level that nobody else does.
Yeah.
Your care, everything that you do is so heightened. And the individual here, while eventually they'll be better than you if you let go and that is their skill, it's typically going to take 2 or 3 people to actually get it there first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prime example, Ziggy, our producer today, he said, your next episode's going to air. What do you want to call it? And I said, not my wheelhouse.
That's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't know. Just call it something. You figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good at delegating that creative. You do it, Ziggy.
Yeah, the creative stuff works.
Yeah. Lisa was emailing me and I was ignoring her. I need a title, Tamera. I'm like, I don't know. But it is identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, and then letting go of what you're not, what's not your forte, or what's really. I mean, for me to sit down and think of something. Yes, I can think of a title, okay, but it's not where my talents are best used. I need someone creative to handle those things for me, right? And so, my talents are best used interfacing and being with my people, right?
And what we talked about, when you buy back your time or you gain more time, means you have to be prepared to 2 things: take many steps back, because you're going to be spending more money when you do that, because buying back time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be positive right out of the gate. You're going to have to find people that can help you get your time back.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're going to take a couple of steps back financially, but ultimately what happens if they're the right individuals and you truly have delegated, laid out the plan, and they're owning it, you're going to see a tenfold type increase in just happiness, money, all that type of stuff. It eventually does catch up, because then you're just focused on the things that you feel is the highest and best use for your clients and your business overall.
So if you guys don't know, Bob's daughters are volleyball powerhouses, and one of them just got her acceptance letter, right?
Well, yeah, she. Thank you, first off, for that. They play beach volleyball, so a little different than what you may think when you say volleyball, because most people go to indoor.
Sure.
They actually play beach, and in Dallas, we play in bars, backyards, and parking lots.
Right.
Right. So she's excited to be able to go and play at number 3 ranked D1 LMU, Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, California. Mm-hmm. So she is super stoked about that. Great school, amazing coaches. The number 3 ranked behind USC and UCLA, so another two big powerhouses. But she signed her national letter of intent, and that happened last week, last Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever we could sign it, November 10th, I think it was. So she's going to be headed out there next year.
So you're going to be flying back and forth from California quite a bit.
We already do.
You already do, right?
Yeah.
So how did you, give me one thing you did to try to buy back your time so that you could open up your schedule to do these things?
It's just more team members. So, I've added more people to my team that will take more off of me.
I knew you were looking for processors and LOs.
I got loan officer assistant to production partners that we continue to add, more processors that we continue to add. So it's not, that's just something I think it continues to happen, right? What I did to ensure we're going to be successful in that venture back and forth to LA was I got licensed in California.
Oh, there you go.
Right, so now I can do business in California. So it's not and it's definitely not a wasted trip because you're going to go see your daughter. But I can make it towards also a business opportunity. A business opportunity. But the people are number one. You got to have great people on your team that you are able to tranche out what their roles and responsibilities are, so that way you don't have to. It doesn't occupy my mind. I think it's not really the task or the what has to happen. Those are things that we can knock out. It's the fact that I don't want it occupying my mind when a loan comes in or what's going to happen next. When these clients start happening, it allows me just to focus on the front side of it, which is the attraction of new clients and the influence of getting those clients to do business with us.
So I was having a conversation with one of our clients this week, and she's like, I'm ready to build a team and step out of production. I said, do you have a TC? Guess what her answer was?
No. What's a TC?
So basically, you're still handling all your paperwork, handling everything, because you're a big fat control freak, and you need to let it go. And I think that I see a lot of my lender friends that are really, really good at establishing their teams, offloading work that they can offload, right? And making sure that they are able to buy back some of their time. But a lot of my realtor clients are terrible at it. Yeah. Because they can't let go. And why are you spending so much time on non-income producing activities? Would you like time? Would you like to make more money? Would you like to have more listings and more buyers close deals? If you get to a level of production, you have to start offloading some of these things and spending your time writing up your contracts and get into the title, get all the stuff the title. That there are fully qualified transaction coordinators and assistants, licensed individuals that can do those kind of things for you. And you've got to start with step one. You know, I said, do you have a TC? No. Do you have a showing assistant? No. Do you have? Okay. Well, you're so far from offloading your business.
Right. You got to start with step one, which is that TC.
Yeah.
And my statement was, you know, I spend most of my time, and this is where having built the team is, you know, client attraction and influence to get the client to do business.
Yeah.
I didn't say, well, I'm going to take the application and I'm going to do this, and I mean, you know, those tasks, while very important to the overall experience for a client, other individuals can do that better than me.
Right.
Okay, when they have clear direction, they have an understanding of their roles and responsibilities, and when that thing shifts to the next person. But you never want to lose, if you're in a business like ours, I think, real estate agents, mortgage individuals, title, right? You never want to lose the client-facing aspect of that, right? You're not building a consumer direct company.
Right.
You know, you're building a client-centric organization that you still need to have the touch, but then allow that client to understand, here's what happens next with my team. Here's the experience that you're going to get. And people expect that. I mean, they don't expect one person to handle everything.
You can't be all things to all people.
No. And if you did, then you realize you're not really doing enough business.
So I think that's a great place to kind of stop for today and leave them with the final nugget of today is while you're doing these things and analyzing your business, take a look at where you're spending your time, and is it the right place for you to spend your time? If you can take a hard look at that and decide that you need to start offloading some of these things that you aren't good at, now's a great time to start looking for somebody to help you do it.
I love it, Tamera. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Bob, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Spilling the LT. Again, I'm your host, Tamera Gaede. Make sure that you go onto all of our social media platforms, subscribe to our channels, like, share the post. And Bob, tell them the name of your podcast one more time before we go out.
I mean, you can get anywhere by going to bobmortgage.com or going to any of our social channels at Bob Mortgage. Podcast is 100% Bob.
All right. Everybody, make it a great day.